Hey, what's going on, guys? Kaoiji here. So in my previous video, I spoke about the graphics engine update that was delayed that is now scheduled to release for March 3rd when it comes to Phantasy Online 2 in the Japanese version. A lot of people are immediately worried that their computers aren't going to be able to handle it because they either have older computers or they're running on a laptop. Now, I've touched on this a couple times before, but I never made an updated video about the updated requirements when it comes to New Genesis. So just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, for those of you guys who are currently already playing Phantasy Star Online 2, unless you're playing on the absolute lowest settings, you really have nothing to worry about. Now, the reason I say this is that during the last closed beta test over in Japan, they actually gave us updated requirements for New Genesis. Now, you might be curious as to what New Genesis means for the original Phantasy Star Online 2 graphics update. It's mainly because the original Phantasy Star Online 2 graphics update is the texture and model update for player characters and enemies prior to the release of New Genesis. So the timeline of things was supposed to be is we were going to get the graphics engine update prior to the release of New Genesis. The closed beta test 2 over in Japan was then going to launch a little bit after that, and then we were going to start rolling out any other additional tests and fixes that might need it to happen until we then get a confirmed release date for New Genesis itself. Now, remember, a lot of this information is still only for the Japanese side, as the global side still doesn't have an official launch, but it is still reason for people to start worrying about whether or not their computers are going to be worth it, or able to run the game, I should say. Especially if you guys are looking to start getting into Phantasy Star Online 2 currently, mainly because you might be saying to yourself, well, I'm looking for a game that I could play on low specs, and Phantasy Star currently fits the bill, but when the graphics engine update happens, it may not be able to do that. But again, rejoice, if you're able to play the game now, unless you are literally playing in the lowest graphic settings, you'll still be able to play New Genesis. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what the current specs are for New Genesis, or even at least the graphics update, then pretty much all you're going to need is at least a i5-9400 at the lowest requirement of CPU, although you can go with lower, and they say that you can get an i3-4150. And then at the highest image quality, you're going to need an Intel i9-10900. Now, a lot of people might immediately say, well, for the low image quality, an i5-9400 is incredibly, taxing for their computer, but keep in mind that this is mainly just because these are what they recommend. You can get away with lower, especially with them recommending an i3-4150. Basically, if you're still running a potato PC, you can run this game. They then say that you're going to need at least 8 gigabytes of RAM to at most of a 16 gigabyte of RAM. For the New Genesis part of the game, you're going to need 30 gigabytes and then another 70 gigabytes for PSO2. So you're going to need 100 gigabytes in total. One other thing to keep in mind is that the graphics card requirements are actually incredibly easy to be able to manage as well. They say that the necessary operating environment is only a GT 430 with an AMD variant of an HD 5570. And then for a lower image quality, you're going to need a GTX 950 or a AMD equivalent, which is an R9 2085. I'm sorry, 285. For a medium image quality, you're going to need a GTX 1060 or an AMD equivalent, which is the RX 580. And then for the highest image quality, you're going to need an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 Super or the AMD equivalent, which is an RX 5700 XT. To be completely honest with you, these requirements are actually incredibly low, considering not only the original requirements that we saw for the game, but then also considering the fact that the game looks absolutely beautiful. But this still gives you guys the peace of mind that if you're currently playing the game, you do not have to worry about a thing, mainly because you will still be able to play, unless for some reason you're running at the lowest specs possible on like literally lower than an Xbox. I think you should be fine. Now, this isn't to make fun of anybody who is running on lower specs. If you are, that is totally understandable, especially when it comes to PC parts. It is incredibly expensive depending on when you're trying to buy them. And even though there are affordable options out there when it comes to upgrading your PC and your CPU, some of the affordable options are consistently sold out. So it completely stands to reason as to why people would be worrying around this time. The one thing that I want to show you guys is the fact that there is 7 different presets when it comes to New Genesis and the graphic settings. These 7 graphic presets will also apply to the PS2 base game, although the PS2 base game should be able to be handled a little bit easier, considering the fact that, again, it is only a texture and model update. Now, while I personally don't have any footage, I actually came across this YouTube video from Reicashar, who I'm going to leave a link down to their video down below so you guys can go ahead and check them out. And pretty much this person also goes through all the different presets going from minimum all the way to ultra in the PSO2 New Genesis game. PC specs as of running the game was actually an i7 9700K with an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070. They had 16 gigabytes of RAM and they were playing at 1440p while also streaming at 720p. I'm going to be leaving a link down to their video down below because it is 27 minutes long, and luckily for us, they also gave you guys timestamps to be able to see the differences between all of the different presets. But I wanted to be able to get this information out there just so I can give you guys a little peace of mind, because in my last video I really saw a ton of comments and concerns saying that their time playing PSO2 seems to be numbered because their PCs won't be able to handle New Genesis or even the graphics update. But anyway guys, thank you guys again for watching. As always, you guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you for all the kind words recently. I was also over on Keroppi's channel and his Arcs Trash podcast, so if you guys haven't already done so, please do me a favor and go check that out as well, because even though I do story times here on my channel, there was a lot of information about me and also my time as a content creator that I think you guys might be interested in anyway. But anyway guys, thank you guys again for watching. As always, if this video was informative to you in any sort of way, please do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video out here. Stay awesome, stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out.